I heard about this game, my first mindset is, why didn't we have this in the beginning? Having tools like this, doing anything and everything you can to empower their teaching, that's something that I've always wanted to see happen, because there's a connection from my generation to my kids' generation.
So we're at Gamescom learning a little bit more about a game called Never Alone, and why don't you just introduce us to it? What's this game all about, and how did this partnership come to be?
Well, we're really excited about this partnership. I represent Cook Inlet Tribal Council, which is a tribal nonprofit organization located in Anchorage, Alaska. And we've been working on this project for a couple years in partnership with Eline Media. CITC provides social services to Alaska Native people, and our main priority is to connect Alaska Native people to their potential. We do this through investment in education, helping people find jobs, helping people find meaningful careers, and helping families succeed. We started thinking about 6 or 7 years ago about how we could become more self-reliant as an organization and determine our own destiny as it related to finding ways in which we could make money to support CITC's mission and programs. And we looked at a lot of different options of investment, and we knew we wanted to be involved in a double bottom line company. And so we looked at everything from funeral homes to real estate investment. And we started thinking about the possibility of leveraging who we are as our people, bringing our stories that have allowed us to survive for 10,000 years and our culture to the world. And at the same time we go, how do we do that, right? And so we wanted to think about harnessing the power of technology and media, and the idea of video games was born. We know nothing about the video gaming industry at all, and so we knew we needed to have expert partners that were aligned with our values within the organization. And after doing some deep searching for who those right partners would be, we found Eline Media. And I said, if they come to Alaska in the middle of winter, during the coldest month of the year, I'll have a real conversation with them. And they did that. They showed up the first week of January. And so that started this relationship and conversation and really trying to understand the gaming industry. And what we realized through a deep dive and through doing a 2 to 3 month landscape analysis is that there hadn't been a major investment by Indigenous people in the gaming industry. And so we wanted to take that space, and we want to share our culture with the world by using video games.
So that takes me to your role when you came into what attracted you to the project?
You know, it was interesting. When we got a call from the Cook Inlet Tribal Council, my business partner and I, we weren't really doing consulting because we were building a developer and a publisher, but he said he'd been to 49 states and never been to Alaska. Let's just go. So we flew up. Gloria says it was cold. It was a blizzard that we flew into, but it was a remarkable experience. We spent 2 days with the leadership team at the Cook Inlet Tribal Council. It was interesting. They were all women. We were all men.
We needed that balance.
But we honestly tried to talk them out of it. I have a background in the commercial video game industry. I used to run the studios at Activision, worked on a lot of AAA titles. I've seen thousands of video game companies come and go over the years, and this is their hard-earned money. We were like, really? You want to start a video game as a double bottom line, make money, make impact sustainability venture? But they were incredibly thoughtful. As Gloria mentioned, we did spend 3 months looking at how Indigenous cultures were represented in other media, movies like Whale Rider and Fast Runner, music, world music. There were lots of examples of profitable, powerful media, but not in video games. And yet there was this vibrant, independent video game movement with games like Limbo and Braid really pushing the art form in amazing new directions. So we said, why can't we push not just the art form, but the content, the themes that are being explored? So when we got deeper and deeper into it, we realized there really is an opportunity here. But to do it properly, it would have to be done genuinely inclusively. So At Eline, we put together a team of very experienced game veterans. The creative director on this project, Sean Vesey, actually at Activision we worked together. He was the designer on Pitfall, MechWarrior 2, Interstate 76, and then he ran the Crystal Ido Studios, the Tomb Raider franchise. He's handpicked a team of industry veterans that are passionate about sharing, extending world cultures through games. Gloria put together a team of elders, storytellers, Alaska Native leaders, and together the teams merged. The video game team spent a lot of time up in Barrow on the Arctic slope, minus 40 degrees. It's an amazing, beautiful, fascinating culture. But the Alaska Native team spent a lot of time with the video game culture, which is also a fascinating culture. And we've literally merged our organizations, and the first big project to come out of it is Never Alone.
I thought one of the interesting things is the fact that you want to tell those stories, because that's how I interpret the game. What kind of story is it that you're telling here in Never Alone?
This is a story that comes to us through an elder. Her name is Minnie Gray. She's in her 80s. And it is about an endless blizzard. The protagonist in the game is a young Iñupiat girl. Her name is Nuna, which means land in English, and she has a companion fox. And so the challenge of the game is to find the source of this endless blizzard and restore balance in the environment. It was really important for us to remain true to the storylines, and as a result, we were able to integrate several different stories into the frame of the main story. It's Kanutsu Yuka in Iñupiat is the story.
So what was that like? Because sometimes it can be a challenge adapting something that you have to stick true to in a video game, stick true to. So what's...
Can I just...
Sure.
So as Alan talked about, we had to sort our way through this inclusive development process. We hired a lead Iñupiat writer who helped us with the story, and we had to have several conversations within our joint team to ensure that we stayed true to the spirit of the story. We had to make some really critical decisions about it. We want to ensure that we have a fun and engaging video game experience, but we also want to have a game that we're proud of as Alaskans and as Alaska Native people.
It was a really fascinating balance. The game is an atmospheric puzzle platform game, and you wouldn't necessarily think a platform would be the genre for a game that really is infused with these stories. But it really works in interesting ways. First of all, the platform genre is a beloved genre, whether it's a tween playing Mario or a core gamer playing Limbo. It's a genre that's familiar to gamers of all generations. Platformers tend to have a linear structure, so there's the spine of the story of the Endless Blizzard, but the themes of interdependence, it's a two-player cooperative game. To succeed, you play both the girl and the fox. You can play single player, switching back and forth, or two players. And that reinforces a very powerful theme because they have very different capabilities. The fox is in tune with nature in the ways that the girl isn't at the beginning of the journey. The girl has capabilities that the fox doesn't. The themes of resiliency and survival in this very harsh but beautiful climate are reinforced throughout the game. We have a concept of cultural insights. In platform games, there's a great trope that you collect achievements, gold coins. Here you actually collect cultural insights. We have a documentary film crew interviewing the elders and storytellers, and you unlock these insights about the culture. It doesn't stop the gameplay. You can go back and watch them, at your leisure, but they present this powerful picture that provides context for the whole experience. So it's kind of a holistic experience. The other critical thing that we've really learned is this is a vibrant living culture. We're not trying to authentically depict the story in games. We're trying to extend into a new generation the power of these stories, the power of the themes collaboratively.
So that means that you can have some freedom to interpret a little bit what the stories are.
Together. We have to interpret it together.
And we want to ensure that the game is authentic and genuine. And I think that we've really maintained a good balance when making choices about the story, how we interpret the story itself. you know, the Iñupiat people had an oral language for 10,000 years, and it was storytelling was a means of communicating and a means of transferring knowledge from one generation to the next. And throughout the 10,000 years, stories have evolved and will continue to evolve into the future. And so that's the way we see this, as an evolving story for all.
At a very high level, a lot of people around the world look at digital media and video games as disconnecting youth and young adults from their language, from their culture. Why not use computer and video games, the incredible power and joy of computer and video games, to reconnect youth with other cultures, with their culture, with their elders, with other elders? And that's part of the vision here. And we hope this game will help pioneer a whole movement around world games the way world music is a movement. And we can explore many cultures in many genres on many platforms, but it really has to be done in an inclusive way.
What's really exciting to me is, as I said earlier in the interview, we knew nothing about the video gaming industry. And it's really interesting learning about it. But through our partnership with Eline, we are committed to making a significant investment and really moving forward and helping develop additional games, including people from indigenous communities around the world, using the power of video games to tell their stories.
And where are you at with this game right now? Where are you sort of, when's it coming out? Where is it coming out?
Well, it'll come out on November 4th, and so we'll be the other option to Call of Duty.
Oh, you're going at your old folks.
It's a wonderful medium. There's lots of types of games can people play. So Never Alone does offer an interesting, you can play both. But it's coming out November 4th. It'll be Xbox One, PlayStation 4, PC, Steam for the holiday. And then in Q1, we're going to roll it out on additional platforms like PS Vita and Wii U. We'd like it to be on every platform, but the launch platforms are the next-gen consoles and PC.
Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, great.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.